My name's John Scales. I'm a former England player and ambassador for Fair Game. We stand at the crossroads of the game that we love. We've seen the demise of Bury and Macclesfield over the last few years. We've seen an owners and directors test that isn't fit for purpose. We've seen equality standards that are not much more than paying lip service. We've also seen over 77 different forms of accounting and no real transparency. And clubs are spending over 200% of their revenue on players' wages. That's not sustainable. Football is broken.
Hi, I'm Phil Young, one of the directors at Bury AFC. Bury fans are acutely aware of the problems faced by modern football, and we had no hesitation in signing up to Fair Game. The values that they're associated with are exactly the same ones that we think are critically important to football today. We want to see financial sustainability, we want to see clubs protected as much as possible, and we're really keen to see an independent regulator enforce all of that and make sure that it actually happens. So we're happy to back Fair Game, and we're hoping that football will become a better place in the future.
Towards the end of last year, unfortunately, my father passed away, and he was a supporter of Bury for over 60 years. And he took me to my first game in 1983. And we went everywhere watching the Shakers, and our relationship was forged on predicted scores, team selections, and poring over league tables. We spent hours in cars, on motorways, full of excitement and optimism on the way to matches, and full of disappointment and a sense of being underwhelmed on the way back. But most importantly, forging unbreakable bonds, and that phrase again, shared memories. But this story is not unique to me or to Bury fans, and it's a story that's played out across the nation, where grands and granddads and mums and dads, they pass on that rite of passage of their allegiance to their chosen club down to the next generation. My dad's deteriorating health coincided with the Shakers implosion, and on that fateful day in August 2019, it stopped just like that. And no more trips, no more long chats, no more new memories. It just stopped. There was a void, and yeah, we still spoke about what I'm not too sure, but we spoke. But I'm not sure we actually talked. Not like we did on the way to a game, and it wasn't the football, it wasn't the actual game of football, but going to the game, so much more is wrapped up in that activity. It was a safe space to talk, where millions of those small interactions that you have make you the person that you are. But August 27th, 2019, that stopped. Fast forward to the start of a talk of a Phoenix club, and that grew, and I decided I wanted to be a part of getting that new club up and running. And following the first season hampered by COVID, the start of this season coincided with my dad's last few weeks, and as his condition took hold, the old dad was back. The words any Bury AFC news meant more than who we've signed and who we're playing. It was a gateway back to that safer place that we used to have. As he reached his final days, we watched an online stream of a Bury AFC game together, and I was sitting next to him and comforting him with unspoken but the known inevitable of what was going to happen. And it was the last game we watched together. I was holding his hand and reassuringly, and similarly, he'd held my hand as I was a little nipper at my first game at Gig Lane all those years ago, and things had come full circle. And I'm forever grateful that I had a football club. I had Bury AFC back, giving me that second chance to create a lasting memory I otherwise would not have had. And to finish, this is my story, but I'm not a special case. Even today, there's Derby County fans out there probably petrified at the thought that they're not going to get that experience, that shared experience of taking a child or a grandchild to their first game. And it's these collective experiences across a community, or lack of them when they go, that make football clubs so intertwined with the lives families in those areas, and vital to the civic pride of the communities that those clubs reside in. So thank you for hearing my story. We need to keep the momentum to ensure that the game is governed correctly to avoid any repeat of what happened to my club into the future. So thanks again, Niall, and thanks to Fair Game for all you're doing.
To my fellow politicians, to supporters, to football itself, to businesses, it is a now or never moment. I ask you to back Fair Game, lead the change. There is light at the end of the tunnel. Let's not waste the opportunity.